Hello beautiful people, it's Robyn Thomas here with Resemble by Robyn. Welcome back to my channel. Alright, so as you can see by the twist in the beginning of the video and the hair now, this style is a very kinky based hairstyle. So the hair is very similarly resembles afro textured hair. As you can see, some of them are like stretched out, some are still in there like coils, but it is best used for hair that is extremely curly and coily. I would not recommend this hair or this style for anybody who has a straighter texture or a looser texture. It blends the best with afro kinky hair. Her hair not blown out is very kinky. Like the shrinkage is so real. Okay, so pros and cons about this hair. So I really love this install. So one of the pros I think you can see already is you don't really have to use any product. Some people don't like products. Some people think that product weighs the hair down. This client specifically does not like product on her hair. Anytime we do any braids or any other type of twist, I never put any like gels, or I only use gel, so I never put any gel on her hair. She would rather it not have that. So that's a pro to this, which is why I also say like the having super kinky hair really is beneficial for this style, because as you can see, and even in the beginning when you like zoom up to it, the hair is not sleek, it's puffy, it's frizzy, which resembles again our hair when we have it in a two-strand twist style. So if you're looking and you're wondering like, haven't I seen this style before? Yes, it very closely resembles like Nubian twist or kinky twist. It can also be installed with, let me not go that far. So it resembles Nubian twist. The only difference is the type of hair that is used. Basically the different names are the different types of hair that is used. A con to this hair while installing it, I know this part is going like really fast, but the hair is so kinky and it's so stretchy that sometimes it can get a little bit tangly. But I mean, if you have kinky curly hair, you know that that's just how the hair is. Another con I would say to this hair, you see that? Another con I could say about this hair is that it is very drying because of the texture that it is. And as we know, most of the time hair weave is not hair unless it's listed as like virgin or human hair. It's not really hair, it's more of like a fabric that's been made to resemble hair. So it can be very drying, which means that when you go to do your maintenance, and I'll talk about this more in the maintenance part, but when you go to do your maintenance, you will have to use more products. You will have to make sure that you're putting a little extra care than you would if you just had like box braids in. So I'll say the similar care that you use for like Marley twist is the same that you would have to use for this, because the hair is very drying. But yeah, other than that, there really aren't any more cons to the hair, other than you having to, it can get like tangly as you're trying to install it, especially if you're doing it on yourself, or it could it can be very drying. But if you keep up with your moisture routine and you aren't stingy in trying to stretch your products, then it can be very beneficial. I guess that's something else I can note too. It's very important to keep up with your maintenance and making sure that the hair is moisturized, because when you do go to take it down, you do not want your hair to break after having this install in. I hope it's not like scaring you to not want to get them because it's like that. The only thing is you just have to make sure that you're doing your part. You just have to make sure that you're doing your part in it. It's a beautiful style. It ages so well. Like the older it gets, the better and the more natural it looks. She's playing with color. She actually has a install coming up here, actually next Tuesday, where she's going to be in her actual hair color. So she's going to be in 1B. And to me, in my personal opinion, I think this is beautiful. But the more natural the color is to your hair, the better I think that it looks. So although this is just gorgeous, I think that the more natural color that you use to your hair, the better it also ages. So alright, so let's get to actually installing the hair. So installing the hair is very easy. I like to use these like moon or crescent or free parts. I like to call them free part because that's just the terminology I choose to use. But what I like to do is go ahead and part this section or the area. You do not need a lot of hair. It's Afro-y, so it's going to puff up. So you take the amount of hair that you need, and then you split it. Hopefully I'll show it. I edited this a while ago. But you split it as if you're doing a regular traditional box braid. And look, so she has her edges out. Like, don't put none of that in the twist. But and you start it off with a braid. You want to make sure that you are, when you start it off with a braid, you want to make sure that you are corn rolling. You are installing it as if you're doing a corn roll. So as if you're braiding to the scalp, but you're not picking up hair. I find that when you do that with this type of hair, it really helps to secure it to where the hair is not twisting at the roots of the head. And sometimes it's just going to happen, but you don't want it to twist and it starts to slide. So in order to get it really, really secure, which you would think, oh, it's Afro hair to be secure. If you don't secure it correctly at the top, you're going to have problems, you know, basically throughout the install of the hair sliding, or thinking, oh, I got a whole bunch of new growth right here because it slid a little bit. So as you can see, her hair at the shaft was at a standstill as I've been twisting going down her hair. And bear with me, I'm going to have a slow-mo that comes up showing how I put it in as well. But all I'm doing as I'm twisting is I'm doing it as if I'm doing Marley twist or Senegalese twist. So I'm twisting and twisting. So if that makes sense. If you know about Marley twist and Senegalese twisting, you know the method. But that also helps to keep it nice and looking like a twist. So I'm going to let you watch this again, and then I'm going to come back to explain it one more time over the slow motion. But one thing I do want to say is, if you watch my videos, you know that whenever I split hair in the front, I always, or around the edge area, I always put more hair that's closer to the edges as opposed to the other side, if you've seen that. And the reason I do that is because it's just really thin, and so I don't want, it's just like a mind thing. I want to make sure that it's not having like too much. Whenever the hair grows out, I don't want it to like fall too much on the very edge part. Even though this is a small twist, it's like, does it really matter? To me it does. So I just always try to use the proper precautions no matter what size or what type of hairstyle I'm installing, to make sure that whatever is closer to the edge has a little bit more hair. So yeah, so I just, and then how many times I braid it down honestly just depends on to whenever I feel that it's secure, or to whenever I can get to the, so once I feel it's secure, then I'll say, okay, where is that twist that doesn't have any hair? Because you see I parted into 2 instead of 3. So I say, okay, where is the 3 strands that doesn't have any hair? And then I just split that in half. And normally that piece is the piece that was flipped over to make the 3 pieces. And so it easily splits into 2, and then I just twist that going down to help with the security of that. All right, so here it is in slow motion. I'm taking the hair, I split it into 2 pieces, and then I have my 3 pieces for the actual the twisting hair. And if you can see, I do not braid tight, okay? But what I do is braid very, very close together. So basically, I'm not like pulling backwards as I'm braiding. I'm braiding really close together, and because I'm installing this part as if I were corn rolling a hair or a braid, they're really, really, really close together. So I just continue to braid really close. Again, not tight, but really close to make sure that the hair is going to be secure whenever she washes it. It's not going to slip out. It's not hurting. It's going to be extremely flexible. And then I changed to go, I guess, underhand. I honestly can never get the terminology for that. But I go underhand to continue to braid. And as I'm doing it, you see I hold the piece that I'm not working with to make sure that it's nice and secure. So at this point, I pretty much feel that it's secure, but the hair is on the outside. So I'm going to wait until I get that hair in the middle. I think I'm going to split it now. Yes, and I'm finding where that hair splits. You see me finding that, so it splits seamlessly because that was the part that was flipped over to make the third strand, if that makes sense. And then I am twisting and twisting. So you see how, and most of my first twist is coming from the right hand or the right finger, so I twist that under, and then when I grab it on the other side, I twist it back as well. Okay, so it's the same motion over and over again as if you're installing Marley twist or Senegalese twist. It's more similar to when you do a Marley twist because it's afro hair, just like Marley twist is, like the Cuban twist hair is afro-y. It's more similar to that because with the Senegalese twist, the hair is straight, so you have to to me, those hurt my hand, which is why I never do that install on anybody. Like I did on myself one time and I was so sore. I was like, yeah, no, never again. And so anyways, you twist and you twist and you twist while you're twisting. And you just go all the way down, as you can see me doing here. And when I get close to the end of the client's hair, and not that I'm not doing it the whole time, but when I get close to the end of the client's hair, I make sure to do it really, really tight together. So I'm starting to come towards the end, and you'll see maybe me like tighten it or like pull the pieces further apart so that it can like kind of roll up a little bit and tighten it. But especially since I'm not using product for her hair, I make sure that when I'm twisting, getting close to the ends of her hair, I start to twist really, really, really tight together so that the hair is not sticking out. A pro to that is that this is Afro hair. You can see right here, you can see some of the blonde pieces that are sticking out, you know what I'm saying, because that's just kind of what our hair does. You know, it's not super, even when it's uniform, it's not necessarily, it's neat. I don't want to say it's not neat, but you get what I'm saying. Like, hey, you may have a piece here that's a new strand or something, I don't know, you know, and it's shorter than the other pieces and it's sticking out. So yeah, so you see me getting close to the very end. I had to gather that piece together. And that's another reason why I have to do it tighter, is because I have to make sure that I'm getting that piece twisted into that. But as you can see, I'm doing these parts really, really, really tight and really, really, really close together to make sure and to ensure that her hair is tucked within that twist. And then when I pass the twist, you know, instead of having to be right up underneath it as tight as I am, I just kind of go back to, you know, twisting and twisting regularly. Okay, so as you can see, we use colors 27 and 30 for her install, but we didn't want just straight 27 30. She didn't want like chunks or highlights, you know, so she wanted the hair to be mixed together. So I think this is like 8 ways that I mix the hair, and this is really not limited to, like, it just depends on how I separate the hair. But I'm just showing you here how I choose to mix the hair. And then you can also see here the con of the hair, of it being like getting like tangly and stuff like that, and you know, sometimes kind of hard to rip apart because it's so kinky together, right? So honestly, y'all, I cannot, I did this like last year. Look, it's only like the 12th day or 11th day in the year, but I did it last year, but I did it like last year, like in November, I think. So I really can't remember exactly how or what colors I use. I know that I have a clip that's coming up next of me installing the hair that shows, and I'll be able to tell you like what colors I mix together. But for here, you can see how I'm just kind of going through and I'm doing like some plain pieces of 27, I'm doing some plain pieces of 30, I'm mixing like 1/3 of the 27 with the 2/3 of the 30, or vice versa, you know what I'm saying? And when I enter it, well, I'll wait till I get to that part because it'll be better explained. So right now you can just watch how I'm like separating hair. Like even with this, I'm saying, okay, I want it to be even. I want the twist to have the same color on both sides, and then maybe the other side will have I don't know, a little lighter or a little darker, you know. So I'm just putting a ton of highlights and low lights in this install. So here we go, entering the hair. So the first one I'm using is a straight 30 piece. Okay, number 30 all throughout. The second one I'm doing is a straight 27 piece. And how I install it, or say I want to do color here or mix there or solid here or whatever, I'm just looking at her hair as I'm doing it, and I say, well, I like how this looks, or I want to add more light, or I want to add more dark. You know, it's all in preference and what you're thinking. If you want to go lighter in the front or lighter in the back or whatever, it's just all in, you know, what you like to do. And so that one is a big piece of 27. If you can see, it has two sides, 27, and then I flipped over the 30. So it's almost like it has like a little 30 highlight within that one. Next piece is the opposite. So I have 2/3 30, which is the larger pieces, and then a small 27. So it's a 30 with a 27 highlight. Here you can see the difference between those two. So one is a little brighter, one is a little darker, but you can see the colors, both colors in both of them. All right, so for the next one, I'm going to be doing, looks like mainly 27 and then a little bit of 30. So one of those, no, I think the second one was totally mixed. The second one had to have been like totally mixed. I don't know. I think you'll be able to see. If I'm saying it wrong, I hope you can be able to see. The colors are so similar together, especially when they're in little pieces. What am I doing? Look, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing a different. Oh no, I think that piece was too big. And so yeah, I just do a whole bunch of different mixes. I'm sorry for not remembering or not doing the voiceover earlier than this. But yeah, as I explained when I was separating the hair, I just do whatever I feel, you know, mixing it. So whether or not it's like 1/4 of the 27 and 3/4 of the 30 or whatever. And so I'm showing, you know, the differences between it. The right looks lighter than the left does. Right there. You know, but I just mix it how I mix it. And sometimes even when I'm doing the twist, like some of the hair that's like already like pre-separated, you can see some pieces may be bigger than others, so I may, depending on whatever the twist is I'm currently putting in, I may not need as much hair. So sometimes I just have a whole bunch of little thin pieces that's around, and then I'll just gather whatever is there and mix, or and put it in as a twist, mix it together. So you can always get really, really fun with color mixing and stuff like that. I think it's beautiful. With the highlights and the lights, it doesn't always have to be like, oh, the top half is a 27, the bottom half is a 30, or like that. You can always like kind of play with it, and it gets really, really fun. It gives a lot of dimension to the hair, and it just makes the install very, very beautiful. So for maintenance, as always, I go in first with the Roots Moisture Mist, and you always want to go in with a water-based moisturizer, because that is where you get your moisture. As we know, oil, even if the type of oil you're using is moisturizing, oils is not where you get your moisture. It helps to seal in your moisture. So moisturizing oil is more so like one day like deeply penetrates, as opposed to like sit on top of the scalp and hair. Okay, so you want to make sure that you go in, and with this I was spraying a lot because I want to make sure that I can feel it to touch, that that I was like misting her hair. So it doesn't have to be drenching wet, it doesn't necessarily have to be damp, but you do want to make sure that you can feel that the hair has been moisturized or has been spritzed with water, as if you walk through a 5-second misting machine or something, I don't know. And so then I just go in all throughout her hair. And me personally, I always like to, you watch my videos, I like to set my clients up real good to where they don't have to moisturize their hair for 2 to 3 days, depending on their the porosity of their hair. So I just go through and make sure the oil is all over their scalp. But I not only focus the oil on the scalp. We all know that that is not where your moisture routine stops. You have to make sure that you're moisturizing your hair within your twist or your braids, and especially because this hair is extremely drying, you want to make sure to even do smaller parts. So here how I'm like doing it, but in smaller sections as opposed to bigger, as if I were doing like box braids. You want to make sure that the hair is nicely coated with your oil. I'm squeezing it in there, making sure that it's getting in there. And I'm going, of course this part is sped up, but trust me, I'm taking time to make sure that the hair is very moisturized. And so this last part is not needed. This is just how I'm choosing to set the hair. I'm using the Nairobi wrapping foam, and I'm just going through and spraying different parts of her hair, to make sure that it's nice and set within her style. This is always the ending style or the ending step for any protective style, whether you're using, I normally use like Tresemme. I probably was out of the Tresemme, or actually I wasn't. The reason I used this for her was because, as you seen earlier, we keep her edges out, and so this just kind of helps to lay in, which to me, I really love this client when it comes to that. She's like, look, this is my hair, you know what I'm saying, my hair is how it is, and instead of trying to like put a whole bunch of products on it or whatever, you know what I'm saying, she just makes sure to make it look as natural as possible. I have kinky hair, that is what it is. I'm not gonna damage my hair trying to get it sleek and whatever when I don't need it. So yeah, I'm just using this. There's no need to do this after if you install this hair, that's fine, but there's no need to continuously do this after every moisture routine. There's no point in doing it. If you choose to do it after a wash day just because you want to like tame some of the frizz, then that's fine, but there's no need to do this all the time. And next you're going to see me blow drying, and honestly the reason I'm hitting the blow dryer on it is so that we can get some pictures and get out of there. But the blow dry portion is not needed either. You can let that air dry. I just kind of wanted to get that white residue off of there before we started to take pictures and do the ending video for her style. So we are officially done. I am going to have, I can't really decide. So I think I really like it as an individual style, but I also know people like it as to be able to put it in as crochet, and to be able to like continuously take it out and put it in, and take it out and put it in. And the thing about when you do it as a crochet style is the twists are more uniform. So not saying that this is not uniform, but the twists are even much more uniform because it doesn't have the barrier or of your hair. Your hair is not included in it. So, but I will have it on my website. I'm thinking as pre-twisted hair coming soon. So make sure that you visit resembleme.robyn.com to see the hair as it becomes available. It will be available, I think, probably in like March or April, and also for products. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you beautiful people next time. Peace and blessings.